Child. Anyway, so
hello, everyone. My name is Jaden, and it's a new year. And like, that's a hard question mark behind that. But is it happy? And why must we force it to be happy? Is it a happy new year? Or am I too drunk to stand and it's 1:30 in the morning and I can't locate my Uber? You see what I'm saying? Like, is it a happy new year? Or am I over a toilet throwing up my ciabatta bread? Like, is it a happy new year? Or did I lose my wallet? Like, we have to stop trying to force these things.
Did you say your name?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you said, hello.
My name
Is it a happy new year? Okay. I was just so thrown off by the ciabatta that I went right back to the beginning. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Why must we force? Oh.
But also, none of those things have happened to me. So, but see, it's called empathy. It's called understanding others and the things that could be happening to other people. Why must we force the happiness on everyone when you have more emotions than that? Disgruntled.
No.
Pissed off New Year.
Pissed off New Year. It doesn't have the same ring. Give us another one.
But you wouldn't be screaming it because the happy is doing all that labor. I mean, pissed off New Year. Like,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pissed off New Year. People are kissing next to the ball that has dropped
and rolling their eyes. Pissed off New Year isn't for the person kissing. It's for the person whose
not
date
kissing.
Went to their parents' house for New Year's.
Nice. You know, someone once said, very wise, not me, life's what you make it. So let's make it rock. You know what I mean? It could be a happy new year. Life's what you make it. So let's make it rock. Of course, sometimes even despite your best efforts, it's not a happy new year, but we could at least believe that it could be, and maybe it will be. I don't know. I am
I think
Amira.
that needs to be reflected.
I am. Oh, so you think it should be like the countdown should end with how last year was?
Or like, good luck in the new year. Like something like,
okay, that's a threat.
Hopefully it's a happy new year.
That's a threat. I hope this year's better. See you at the end of it. Like, what? That's a threat. Jaden, okay. I'm just going to tell you this once. Next year at the end, don't text me on no mess.
Yeah.
Here's hoping for better. Don't.
Good luck
Send me the generic. Send me the generic. Well, then
pissed off New Year.
No, well, actually, that would be funny. That would be a very hilarious callback. And I hope I remember.
Me too.
365 days later, because I'd be like, ouch, what does he mean? And now I'm on the phone. My name is Amira, and pissed off New Year to you all. I'm trying to be back in my Jaden bag. A coworker of mine let me borrow a couple of books, and I just blew through them. It was giving Scholastic Book Fair. I was trying to get that free personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut after reading 10 books. Shout out to the ones that know it. So I went to the library today, and I picked up a little something, if you know what I mean. I didn't do 8 books like Jaden. Yeah, I didn't do 8 like Jaden. I just did just a little of a Jaden vibe. I didn't want them to be like, baby, based on our record, you ain't been here in months. You don't need 8 books. Let's start with 1. So I just got 4 books, and it is definitely good to be back, I will say. And I think
welcome.
that this thank you.
I think that girl, save me a seat because I ain't read a book in since last year. I don't know. I hate them, but it was set up.
Jaden.
It was set
No,
up. It was set up.
it wasn't. That was a pissed off New Year for me because what would you say? I haven't read a book since last year. And that, I was curious about that. When does it become appropriate for you to say last year? But like when you actually mean it, do you say it like 6 months into the year or more? Like, because it's like, oh, I haven't seen her in 3 months.
Right.
Even if that was, in November or whatever, or October. Or you say I haven't seen her since last year. Like, when do you start saying last year instead of the number of months?
I think once you hit like March.
Okay.
It also depends. Like, if you're talking about something within the previous 6 months, you could say the month. Like, as soon as the months start to overlap again, I would say.
Right.
You know what
So
I'm
you're
saying?
saying
Like,
if it is March and you're talking about something from March, okay, well then that would have been a
you could say
literal
last
year,
year
baby.
or February or January. But if it's
So you're saying 12 months is when you can start saying it.
well, I guess technically. Because I'm also thinking like if it happened in November, because I'm also trying to think of when the confusion comes up, because it's like it was last November, and if you would say that today, people would think you're talking about 2022.
Yes, you're right. It's
But
like when
in
people say
March,
next
would they
Sunday.
think that it's 2023 November if I said November?
Exactly.
Or would they still think it's 2022?
They would think it's.
And here we go.
But that
confused New Year.
But pissed off New Year. You're like, and there you go. It's confusing. You made it confusing for us.
I did.
So basically what you're saying is after it's been a year, then you can say last year.
Last year. Depending on what you're talking about, because that's always going to change.
Yeah, I think if it's something like important or time sensitive, you might want to say the month. For example, if your doctor's like, when was the last time you've been to the doctor? Oh, I was there last year. Baby, just say 3 months ago.
Okay.
Because it's not helpful.
Stop.
When was the last time you saw her? Girl, I haven't. First of all, she didn't even text me since last year. You're trying to raise the stakes.
I'm gonna think you playing, and you trying to piss me off.
Well, you said it best. Piss off New Year.
January, February last year should not be used, unless you're actively joking.
Unless it's January, February of last year.
Yeah,
you're saying
unless it's then. There's no. Why are you saying last year? Unless you're playing with me. And this is that we like to call anyway, New Year.
With Jaden and Amira, the best to ever do it.
Period.
Hello. Confused New Year. Yeah. And it is a new year, but it's just the same old show. For now, it's the same old show. And so we're gonna do what we always do, the moment of the week. This is where we're like, this happened to me this week, or I watched this happen this week, and I was like, chill. Anyway, and this was truly I'm gonna go first, Jaden, because you're. We need you to regroup over there. This happened to me today, and it truly, like, sometimes, like, as we always discuss, it'll be a moment that we really sat with for a moment, and it wasn't just like a blase child. Anyway, it's stuff, but this really is like, child, come on, Bark.
Didn't be nothing.
So,
sorry. Go ahead.
Well, that's because you wasn't listening. You wasn't listening to understand. You were just listening for the end of it. And this is a problem with Black fathers in America. Okay. So my moment of the week happened today when I was walking to the library. Hello. Well, them too. When I was walking to the library, girl, why did I see in the distance? I'm like, what is that billowing in the breeze? Is that a flag? But it's not my typical American flag. It's black and white with a blue stripe. Why is it billowing in the breeze? So the library that I go to, I can't tell you where because I just don't feel like it. But that street slash area has a lot of flags, like country flags. So I'm like, I'm sorry, is somebody trying to add this flag to the lineup? What's going on? As I walk closer, baby, why do I see it's a person carrying this flag? And Jaden, don't you know this person looks just like us? I'm like, sir, what are you doing? He's got on a backpack, number one, which is scary black backpacks. Like, what are you preparing for? Why do you have a black industrial backpack with another smaller flag on it? He's got like, what are they called? Knee pads. He's got on knee
Ooh.
pads, a hoodie, and I don't know what was on the
What?
baseball cap, but a baseball cap. I'm scared. Okay, well, you're walking that way. I'm going to continue walking in the opposite direction. What
He's a
are you
hazard.
doing? Why are you walking down the street with a flag? And that always, for me, is just a confusing New Year because it's like, why do we need to be reminded what country you think we're like? We know we're in America. So why do you have an American flag on your car? On your German car?
Right. And I can always understand when it's like your home flag.
You can
That's not
understand, probably
America.
not. Oh, okay, that's not America. I was gonna say because I don't even understand the home flags.
No. I mean, like you're in America and you're repping where you're from. That's one thing.
That's cute.
You America has seized your country in some way, or they have rep your thing as a sign of resistance. Sure. The American flag, girl. I thought we were not supposed to be doing that. Looks around. I thought that was defacing it and messing it up. Why do the police have a flag? And why is it ugly? Like, why is it? It's the same flag it's just the sepia. Like, I don't understand what
it's lazy. It's the laziest flag I've ever seen.
Very lazy. It's very uncreative. It's very hideous, and y'all rock it as if you're chewing it, and I don't get that part. That's why I never understood. Like, you're not chewing it. The one with the red for the firefighters, y'all aren't chewing it. Like, I'm sorry, y'all aren't doing it.
Jaden, have you seen the one that's like all of the different
Yes,
firefighters, police, and it's basically a pride flag? No, when it's like all these colors, I'm like, baby, that's a rainbow.
And y'all want to be down so bad. Not everybody can be Brandy.
Not Miss Norwood. No.
Nor would you ever make it in to any place where we are. Shut up! Like, not a cackling New Year.
Hello? So I was disgusted New Year about it because, baby, number one, it's cold. Put on a proper jacket. Why don't baby don't got no jacket on? And why do you have on a backpack? And why do you have on knee pads?
Maybe he is LGBTQ. So honestly, he's not, because he would never have used those knee pads. And that's the tea. We'll sacrifice the knees for
well, you are
the needs. Okay, and that's
you're so on one, and you're so nasty New Year. I just can't.
It's just, yeah, that was giving cop. That was giving. I don't understand. The knee pads is really throwing me for a loop. Like, I can kind of see everything else. You're saying he had melanin, so I don't understand the lack of codage when it's the lack of degrees outside. But the knee pads are really throwing me off. Like, throwing me off, because I know it didn't eat. Like, I know it didn't chew. Like, it wasn't like a cute moment with the knee pads, or like skates with knee pads on. Like, it wasn't any of that.
No, it was not giving retro Barbie. And I was okay, it wasn't that close because to taking a picture so I can show you. But then I was like, we had a whole thing about taking pictures of people in public. And I don't want this on my phone.
That doesn't count for them. Film the police.
New rules, Dua Lipa. I didn't know. I'll film the police. Okay, next time I'll do it.
Period. Why would I take a picture? Okay, I remember that rule. And I don't like taking pictures of people in public, but sometimes people are inspiration. And
Oh,
I think
okay.
the difference is posting pictures of people in public.
It, yes. Okay.
Like taking a picture of something and then showing your friends is one thing, but posting it and now making it like public discourse, like, girl, this is not the kitchen table. This is
It
like
isn't.
the flag outside hanging from the thing.
Hello.
Ow. Painful New Year, child.
Please edit and post. Jaden, what is your moment of the week, of the year? No, of the week.
Besides hitting my hand just now.
Besides making us listen to that groan.
It was a moan. My moment of the week is literally a week. The few but brutal days between Christmas and New Year's. I had to work this year for those 4 days, 3.5 days, because Friday was a half day. Honestly, it was kind of terrible. Like, especially in the field that I work in. Like my friend who I would go talk to, whatever. She does like insurance stuff, and if you don't know anything about insurances, like now is the open enrollment period, and insurance kicks back in January 1st. That last week, she was slammed with work. And it's like, girl, I had plans for us. Like, my plan was to clock in, sit here with you, laugh, key, bend and crack up and cry and put on a movie and all that, and then go home. But I have to come downstairs, and the only one been laughing is me because you're answering phone calls and doing work. This is evil stuff. And the fact that on the days between joy and apparently happy, I have to come to work. I have to do labor. Quotes around that.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. The worst part is having to show up just to pretend. And literally, it's nationally known that people are showing up to pretend, except those who are really doing work, like insurance.
Which I never understood. Like,
yeah, why do you want to pay me to do nothing?
But why are you doing work? Like, we're supposed to be running around topless right now. Like, I don't understand why you're doing this and I'm twirling my thumbs. When we plan to both be twirling our thumbs. It was very dark-sided to me, and I really just didn't get it.
I'm definitely feeling for you, you know. I unfortunately was I mean, it's fortunate, unfortunate though, because baby, you got paid. I didn't. So
even if I was off, I was gonna get paid.
So then, baby, we're not having the same conversation. So
that's the other thing. I would have to take days though. That's the only thing. That's the only thing. But my thing with the whole taking days portion of it is like,
why should you have to?
A, B, there's people are so iffy. Like, companies will say you get so time, but you know you got to work for however many hours of vacation time. And it's like, I got places to go in February. I got places to go in April.
Come on.
I need my time. And if you're saying it's not going to roll over, or it is, or it's going to be, I can't read the bylaws right now. I'm barely making it through the last 2 weeks of life / year.
Right.
I meant year. You know, life resets on January 1st. I don't even know who December 31st Jaden was. I don't know who that is.
I don't know. I don't know the
Beast
people.
Wing child. He's dead.
Okay.
Well,
moment of silence. We're done.
I'm done. I'm over it. But I just Yeah, those 3.5 days are really just dreadful because every day you wake up knowing like this is made up, like this is dumb, this is worthless, this is a waste of time, this is a waste of gas, this is a waste of opportunity, this is a waste of good measure, like this is a waste of resources. Like,
There's
and
seriously
then I'm
heavy
supposed
on
to
the
turn around and say
resources.
Happy New Year. Like, see how that it doesn't add up. It doesn't line up. How do you go from celebrating time around her family and exchanging gifts and exchanging being a part of this capitalist system just to come have the foot stomped into your back all week, and then I'm supposed to walk out of that with my chin up, champagne in hand, screaming Happy New Year, eating grapes under the table? No, it doesn't make sense to me.
Jaden, only to then have to go to work the next day for some people. That's bananas to me.
January 1st, they're like, okay, that's it. January 2nd, we'll see you.
I hope you have fun.
What? That's a break? Or did my soul break? Sorry, Beyonce, you didn't do enough prepping.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Debilitating New Year.
Something about a quick blink is gonna send me out every time. It's just too good. Sorry, Beyonce. I unfortunately for the paycheck portion, have either been in education or like working in education. So I cannot wrap my mind around having to go into work those days. And I really fear for the days that I will have to inevitably. You know, I don't get, like you're saying, I don't understand how you're supposed to like want to or do it.
No one wants to.
Going to work January 2nd is thick.
Evil.
Thick.
No, that's the worst
Evil
one.
New Year.
Honestly.
Come on.
Honestly, the few days in the middle it's whatever. That January 2nd is like a punch in the face. Along with the 3.5 days, it's like you're getting hit.
Yeah.
And you
I don't
lost.
understand.
Like, because guess what? January 2nd just goes on. Like, it's not like a January 2nd and then you still have another like 4 days off, because then you add it all up and they equal something, child. But it's been a total of, not including weekends, 3 days off. Because 2 half days, Christmas Day and New Year's Day. That's it. What? That's a break, or is that a scam?
Oh, it's a scam. It's a scam. Especially since you all know that nothing is popping off until literally midnight. Literally. And then you want me to clock in at 8. It's not gonna happen.
It was never happening.
Well, I don't know if it happened for you. It didn't happen for me.
Well, the 31st things happen after 12, but the first is like you do nothing.
Oh yeah, you're right. People get off on the 1st. Sometimes.
But people are recovering the 1st.
Yes, but some people don't have off on the 1st. Like, I
No.
remember when I used to work retail, in quotes, I did have to
They
work
don't
New
have
Year's
off.
Day.
Yeah, same.
But it was okay because I got time and a half. But still, I'm like, good thing I didn't have nothing going on midnight. Good thing I was asleep by 9:30.
What if I want to have my time back?
Hello? Party New Year. Like, whatever happened to that? Jaden, what is this you have written down?
Oh, so the other day I was on someone's app on Beyonce's internet, and I saw a video of a dam like being like opened after 25 years or something, so they can like release some of the water. I don't know what the purpose of it was, but something sparked in me. And then maybe that alongside another video of a person helping some animal out with something, like, in the caption being like, "This is as humans, this is what we're supposed to be doing. Like, we're the most advanced species because we're supposed to be helping out the other species to maintain life and order." And I'm like, yes, period, retweet quote. And with that in the the epidermis center of the brain, I have a degree.
Come on.
When you're degreed up, you're a professional at everything. Sorry.
Who can question that?
Especially if it's a bachelor's of science.
Well,
Is it science?
I'm pretty sure you were in the School of the Arts with me.
Nah.
Okay, yeah.
No, it's definitely the arts. But
I know, but you have a
bachelor of all. Clock it, honey. So
Hello.
basically, the dam was used, and I was sitting there thinking. Also, I want to make it very clear that I was under an influence of things, so this was not just free thought from my frontal lobe. This was the strained frontal lobe.
Hello.
Why did we start making dams when beavers were assigned to do it? Why? Not even just the assignment of things to other people. Animals should have so much beef with us. I already know the Earth and planet has so much beef. Like, has several issues with us, the way we are treating it and tormenting it. But the animals in particular, the plants too, because to plant only male trees so that we would not have free fruit.
Oh my gosh, it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
But there's a role that was played, and the women trees naturally bore.
No, they weren't women trees.
Right. The female trees. We're so anti calling women female that everyone's a woman.
No, literally.
The female trees literally would put seeds on the ground to just naturally grow more trees. They had a role that we took away, and we just have a bunch of men around. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The lions, the extinct animals at this point. There's so many animals that have so much beef with us. Why do we have them in cages? Why do we have them in places to spectate and view them? Because if we think back, there was a few of, well, I mean like zoo cages, not me putting my dog up in his crate. That's so he doesn't destroy my things.
Okay, sure. That's his role, though. You see what I'm saying? You're taking his role.
He enjoys companionship. That's the other thing. Like, he enjoys the companionship. He understands I gotta be put away. For some reason, Ben's just different. I don't know. He just gets it. And there's room for hypocrisy, but what there's not room for is these mass corporations taking these animals' roles in society. Imagine being a beaver, looking over at a dam that you did not put there, and being like, "Now, who is this?
That's a big one.
And what is this material? Knocks at it. This ain't wood." And it's like, who are you to build a dam outside of a place that was assigned to build a dam? Because I also feel like beavers build dams with intention and a very natural reason. Like, if they're calling to build this dam in this place, we build it so we can destroy a Black community. Like, that's what I don't get. You know what I'm saying?
It's literally like, for example, like whenever you see real estate in, let's say, California, because it's just, first of all, it's too big of a state. I can't even get into it, but it'll be this house on the biggest hill, and it's like one piece of rain and that house is gonna slip all over because it wasn't supposed to be there. It wasn't supposed to be there. If you need a dam there, maybe people weren't supposed to be there. Now, maybe I'm speaking out of turn because I don't really know nothing about these dams and why they were there specifically and what purpose they serve. And also, maybe the people wasn't supposed to be, maybe there wasn't supposed to be a factory right there. Put your factory nowhere. We don't need that.
Dismantle the factory.
And get rid of the factory.
Help the beavers. Like, don't hate their role in society. Help the beavers. Help the bees. Help the bears. Help me. But don't help yourself to environmental collapse because you want to just put up a Amazon storefront over here. We didn't ask for that. No one asked for that. No. Also, side note, I think I'm about to cancel Amazon Prime.
I don't even have Amazon Prime. So before you cancel it, there's a couple of shows I want to watch. If you don't,
Well, not the Prime Video.
They're separate.
I think so. I think they can be.
You don't have Prime Video,
I do have Prime Video,
so they're not separate.
but I think I pay for it separately.
Go ahead and cancel that. Go ahead and cancel that.
But I think I want to cancel Amazon Prime because I'm like, how can we be discussing the mistreatment of people?
I
Like,
can't
we
even
use
believe you have Amazon Prime.
We're
I'm
not
shocked.
discussing. Don't be
Okay.
shocked. A lot of the girls that be tweeting have Amazon Prime, and don't let them fool you that and say that they don't. They will actually recommend you buy things off of Amazon. So yeah, let's be very clear. But I was thinking the other day, I'm like, the Prime is where a lot of the exploitation is coming from. Besides, the whole company and as a whole. The next day of it all, the
next day within, if you order right now,
it'll get here tonight.
20 minutes.
Like, that's the extreme of it all. Like, it's not taking 2 weeks to get here. I'm trying to get it here as fast as possible, and we're starting to rely a little bit too much on the convenience market, like the DoorDashing, the Ubers. They were once there to help us, and now they're there, like, monopolizing. And they did it to create how they're tech companies. I found this out recently. They're tech companies who offer you something at a low price to get you to need it and rely on it. So then when they raise the prices, you can't justify getting rid of it regardless of what price it is. And that's sick. And me personally, I don't like people telling me what to do. So when I start realizing that companies and things are telling me what to do, I don't like that. And so I'm not going to use your Uber. I'm not going to use your DoorDash. I'm not going to use your Amazon Prime.
No, Defiant New Year. Just delete it.
I'm probably going to use them, but it's the reliance on them. They can still be convenient, but when things are, when a convenience becomes like a reliance, is it like helpful
it's
anymore?
not like,
is it like a new normal? It's no longer helpful. It's actually worse because you're paying more for something you at one point didn't use, or it never even existed. Someone said that to me the other day. They had said, I forget what we was talking about. And it was like, but I need it. I said, but you were around before it was invented.
It's like when people think that they're saving money by buying 2 of something in the grocery store when they weren't even going to buy 1. You're not saving money by doing this thing instead of that because you weren't even going to buy that at all on Amazon.
You're actually creating scarcity. And this is, let's go back to 2020 when everyone was buying 40 things of water and 40 things of tissue paper. And it's like, actually, if everyone just bought 1 thing of tissue paper, we would not run out of tissue paper. The reason we're running out of tissue paper is because we buy 50 at a time. Because just because you have to be in the house more doesn't mean you're going to start pooping more.
It could, though. Just kidding.
I'm like, well, not regarding you, but just because now we're in a pandemic doesn't mean you're about to just start using the bathroom a whole new amount.
Especially since, baby, you're not even really eating nothing.
Where you going? You barely get active, and your bowels ain't even moving.
Hell, there's nothing to move. But back to the beavers. I'm actually screaming like from the top of my internal lungs that you're like, well, my lungs are obviously internal. I'm sorry. I'm internally screaming from my lungs that you're doing all this just to be like, but I'm going to keep it. I just want y'all to know that I know.
It's because
it's the acknowledgement, I guess, that counts.
And it's the eventual doing something about it. But as of this second, this is just conversation. Though we need to stop just having conversations just for conversation's sake and start having conversations regarding the future. But this is to get into other people's heads. Like, let's start thinking about this stuff. Let's start thinking about what we can do instead of these things.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. And we're also going to lead by example. Say it with me. We're going to cancel it No, okay, I'm alone. Let's get into the
Girl,
catch.
lost her mind New Year.
No, yeah, definitely
Delusional
alone.
New Year.
Trifling New Year is for
But it's
Jada
actually, I am
at
going to
all
try and
times.
dial it
What
out.
do you even need so frequently, so fast that you're like, I gotta have it. I
Prom can
cannot
go.
get.
No, prom can go. I
Okay,
don't
that's what
need.
I'm talking about.
I'm talking
Like,
more
what do
like
you even order?
Uber, DoorDash. I use them. I'm not
You
gonna lie.
you do, yeah, you do love a little moment there.
I do. But Uber, I
I
drive.
don't
I only need
understand
it
because,
for. I only need it for like city stuff because
but for the
they,
DoorDash,
as a
you literally
non-driver,
drive from
as a
work. Oh
non-driver,
my
don't get it
gosh.
because that parking spot is it's the parking process in
Mhm.
cities is so important and so like meticulous and strategic that you have to be ready to drop a bag on that Uber. I'm so sorry. You have to be
No,
ready.
no, 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 no. I
Either you're
completely
dropping a bag on
understand
that
that.
Uber or / you're dropping a bag in that parking spot.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I wasn't saying the Uber into a city is like ridiculous and makes no sense. I was talking about, I thought you were saying I cannot get rid of Amazon Prime. And I'm like, girl,
Oh no, Prime can go.
you don't even order anything on there. I'm
No,
imagining. Like, I literally
I
have no
really
idea.
tried not to order anything on there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are you even getting? You're just paying for no reason. So slide me that password. The catch. Ooh, the cat. Please. You already declared it a delusional New Year, so I don't know why you're confused New Year again.
It's okay.
Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Chow Anyway Pod. Follow us on TikTok at Chow Anyway the podcast. First things first, Jaden. In those 5 days between, or 3 days, I should say, between Merry and Happy, we both separately as individuals saw The Color Purple 2024, starring
Mm-hmm.
our American Idol Fantasia Burrito. We both
Burrito.
agreed, Fantasia Barrino. He wasn't there. We both agreed that it was a net positive experience, net positive movie. We are both super critical sometimes for no reason, and it's hard for us to Happy New Year. So, of course, we had opinions.
Yes, several.
I don't know that all of them can be even shared or even some of them because they are for surely spoilers.
Oh,
My
absolutely.
thought, my biggest thing with this movie and a lot of movies, but really this one and all iterations of this movie is people who just make up stuff based off of whatever, even though they didn't read the book, and they'll say something is in the book to people who have not read the book, and they also haven't read the book, and it's wrong. For example, this woman was getting into a discourse about like, oh, why did Hallie played one of the characters in the movie, who in the original movie musical and the book are described as being darker skinned, and Hallie, okay, we know. She was just having a conversation about that. When I say conversation, I mean she tweeted about it. And people were like, first of all, you trying to be divisive. She's black and we love her. In the book, it says that she's prettier and lighter, just like Suge Avery. No. They just said she was prettier. You put all that other stuff in.
Yes.
Specifically, Suge Avery, they literally describe her and she never is cast how she looks in the book or how she's described in the book. So my biggest beef is that it's like the bold pretending to have all this information, like you're like, you know what's going on, and then everyone just being like, okay, well, you call me there. All right,
That's
you got it.
us.
No, she didn't read the book. She just made that up. She
did make
just
it up.
made that up. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't have cast Hallie, but you know what? I'm gonna say one shady thing and then I'm gonna be done being shady. We
Okay.
can still talk about it, but I'm gonna just say one shady thing. If the girls are gonna get me, if not casting Hallie means we wouldn't have to hold on, let me say it the other way. If the expense of not casting Sierra means cutting Hallie, it's a price I'm willing to pay.
Every time. And
It's
actually,
the
I'll pay
price I'm
double for
willing to
it.
pay. Oh, well.
There was no need for Sierra to be in this movie. I don't understand why they paid her $250,000 to stand there for 2 minutes and sway back and forth in her kente cloth. I don't understand why she existed in this film. I don't get it.
I cannot stand you, New Year. She did not need to sway under that big old tree.
Under that tree from Lemonade. Because this was the same set from Lemonade. The girls who can clock it can clock it.
And I
this
love
was
clock it. Yeah.
This was the Lemonade set. And Tyler Perry, baby, we gotta find some new things on this lot. Like there's no reason 14 people all have the same set. Maybe if you let your workers unionize, it'll be better off. The movie, okay. General, I liked the movie. The movie was good. It did have moments that made me like tear up, get emotional. They sang down. I also did not read the book, so there are not comparisons I can make. I have seen the original movie several times. I have not seen the musical at all. I've seen several portions from standing Cynthia Erivo singing it, but yeah, I have not, whatever. Keep Oprah's hands off things. And when I say that, keep her pockets on them, but her hands off them. I can't stand when she's a part of things because it has the same Tyler Perry-esque qualities about them of like can sometimes come off as cash grabby or like low budget-y. Like though this movie I would not say was low budget, there are other people who should have been paid to be a part of this film, like a historian, like quality set designers, like
you don't think the set was quality?
The set was great, but why does he have a Coca-Cola stand outside of his home?
Well, you know why? Because Coca-Cola paid to put it there. Next. How do you think they were able to afford Sierra? Coca-Cola paid for Sierra.
Well, they could have used that money from Sierra to pay someone else to put something else there. For them to build a Coca-Cola stand that looks like it would belong in this time period.
Okay.
Not the one that they took from outside the CVS around the corner. Like it was ridiculous. It was a waste of my time. Why are they slapping? Not the movie. I'm talking about the Coca-Cola.
Oh my gosh.
Why are we're supposed to be building something, or are they doing a railroad? Are they mining? We don't know. What we do know is they're slapping shovels on dirt. What? They're not even. They weren't even like, even when it was time to dance. Why is this person out of spot? Why are we not doing this take again? Why does it feel like we're passing parts that we should have been eyeing and making sure were correct? Whose wig is that? That's not his hair. We can tell.
That is the Tyler Perry of it all. A bad wig is gonna get you every time. Why are you
involved?
You know they're friends, right? You know they're friends. They're friends.
They're close.
Anytime the way that I was able to justify things like that, whenever there would be things that were like, but they were also happening within her imagination or like in the world of her mind, sort of like all those big dance numbers where it's like, okay, clearly they're not really singing at a piano, that's in her imagination or her mind. So whenever there's moments like that, I'm like, that well, what does she know? That's how she saw it. That's just makes sense to her why it would be like that. Anything outside of that, I'm like the Coke machine. Okay, JD, you got that. Okay, I guess like we said, we'll sacrifice Sierra. We don't need the Coke machine. And here's my thing. Speaking of cash grabby, why would Sierra, I'm sorry, and her sing the same amount? Actually, okay, so her had like one more note than her. Sierra is literally in the last 5 minutes of the movie.
And they said what I think is so funny about Sierra's role in this, and not just to make this whole movie experience about Sierra being in it, because that's what I think a lot of the discourse has also become, like, why was Sierra in it? And this is where I think it felt rushed in certain points. It felt like cash grabby, is because like where's the story? Like a lot of times it didn't feel like much of a story. And then for Sierra to come in at the last minute, almost as if it was supposed to be like Patti LaBelle or something, like Beyonce or somebody. Like, give me, if you're going to gag me with like a surprise guest, you're going to do it with Sierra. This beat is not that automatic, baby. Like, it's just not showing from. I'm sorry, these are not the goodies we were looking for. She needs to want to her step somewhere else. And find something else to do.
I mean,
she was very pregnant in that, and she thinks that wraparound was hiding it, girl. We see Russell's child, we see it, and we love you, but we don't love you here. We love you doing backbends and singing Ride. That's what we love you doing. What we don't love is you in this head wrap with this accent question mark or this.
Child, I can't even get into the children and
the
no adaptation.
Were terrible. Where are y'all from?
Makes no.
Where are y'all
Jaden, I'll tell you where they're from. America. This woman was a missionary, a teacher, and the children that she's raising don't speak English. You want me to believe that in their home, in their private home, when they get tired of all their missionary work, they're not speaking English?
Something I hate about movies, especially like this, when they meet up, and maybe that's just how like children are, or whatever. When Fantasia was touching their faces, I'm like, Fantasia, get off these kids. Like, you don't know them. Like, they may be quote unquote your grandchildren, but they don't know you, and you don't know them. So why are you squeezing their face and picking them up by their cheeks? Like, stop touching these kids, and even your kids. They don't know you, mama. And that's no shade. That's no shade. But like, let's get to know each other before we start putting our hands on each other. What happened to consent?
No, for sure. That is absolute. But baby, let's talk about the year. There was no such thing as children having consent like that.
Well,
if grandmother wants a hug, you go give that.
2024 and kids barely got consent. So
well. Yeah, no, I will never. It will never make sense to me. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how you slice it. Those children would know speak English. English would be their first language.
Yes.
Their parents, the pastor and his wife, hello, number one. Number two, their parents were American. They were missionaries there to teach what? And they don't speak English.
And back to the historian portion that I was saying before, there's something that I have a problem with like Black historical films, especially ones actually produced by Black people. They're all playing other Black people in other movies. And it's not like an actual representation of Black people in this time period. It's like I'm playing Viola Davis in Fences. Like I'm not actually playing a Black person from this decade, from this era, and how they would talk, how they would act, the things that they would do. I'm playing what I think a representation of a Southern Black person at this time period would do. So like, I bet you if I looked at the outfits and whatnot and like got into the actual clothing from that time period, they probably wouldn't match. It wouldn't be nothing of the sort. They would have none of this on, because that's something Black people always forget, like the actual historical context and like the proof behind it. And I can look into who the historian was, because there probably was one on set.
Oh, for sure, dramaturg of some sort.
But watch it be Tyler Perry. Like, he didn't have nothing else to do but be the historian. And he's
over
there. I
did not see his name in the credits, but clearly you were chewing your popcorn and watching those names flow.
I actually have no idea. It's just it felt so him coded that I just couldn't take it.
Yeah, like, okay, I could.
Though the movie
it definitely
didn't feel like
owned.
his.
It was definitely owned.
Girl, it was the most owned thing I've ever seen.
They could have put it on own, honestly. That would have been okay. It would have did numbers.
Oh, she would have had ratings through the roof.
My grandmother would have actually got the chance to see it at home. Thanks, Oprah. Here's my thing, Jaden. You're right about that. I actually wrote a paper about something similar in college, where sometimes you'll read a book or two different books from the same time period, and the way that the characters speak is different, but it will most times reflect how the Black people of the time that the book was written talk versus the time that they, for example, like Their Eyes Are Watching God versus like Kindred. When they go back in time for Kindred, nobody is talking the same. Granted, they're from different parts of the South, but it never even gives similar. And I just thought that was really interesting, because it's like, are you writing it in a way that's true to form or in a way that would get the message across to your intended audience of that time? And I
Right.
think that with this, it very much is that thing where it's like, yeah, we could be historically accurate, but would that make for an entertaining film? And do we want to see Fantasia do it? No, we
No.
don't. We don't want to see Sierra attempt anything else. Okay, why does it feel like
Besides
we're
being a
like
mom.
Sierra haters? Like I love her.
And if I have to sign up to be that, I will.
Not
To
to love
get
her
her
down, but I do like her.
I do I enjoy
You knew
Sierra.
like you named like 20 of her songs, so you're a fan. It's okay.
I am a fan.
But you're
I
ready
just
to
am
sign
not
up
a
to be a
it's very J Lo. You know, J Lo,
yes.
stay out the booth, but stay on set.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Stay out of the booth, stay out of that Versace dress, stay on set.
Stay on key, amen.
Yeah.
So overall, I think the movie did a better job than the first movie and the musical at, filling in gaps that
Portraying
they
the yeah.
from the book.
There were a lot that I didn't get till I watched this one.
Yeah, and of course, also, y- there never in the history of ever is there going to be a movie that is so accurate to the book that they don't leave out anything. Baby, we don't have all the time for that. We don't have
No.
time for that. And I will say, the two notes that we got from her were really good,
Amazing.
rewindable. I
Her,
was like,
her,
bring
the
that back.
singer,
Yeah,
not
yeah, 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 yeah.
Sierra.
No, no, no.
Just
And nobody at
it
home
wasn't
thought that we
clear.
meant it. Okay. Okay.
Cause her,
You maybe, yeah, yeah, because we were just talking about her, Sierra. I'm talking about her, whatever her last name is.
Gabby.
Gabby's what's her last name? Gabby her. Got it. Um, she was so good. She was so cute. She looked
She
so
was.
young. I'm like, okay, her skin is flawless. She's
And it's very
not
sweet. And it's
aging.
also, I think this movie specifically did a better job at the sisterhood aspects of it. Like I think, even though without reading the book, I can tell that it was supposed to be more like around the community of
Like
women.
that's the central theme, right?
That's what it's supposed to be about. Where the first one, though you get those things, it's all through lost and longing that you kind of experience. And like we're looking for Nettie, where we
Mhm.
should goes away, and then they finally all just end up living together. Like I'm coming here to save you. It was very like broken up. Where this one, the love that each woman shared with each other was very special, and the one that
For
they all
sure.
shared with Celie was what was like special. So
Yeah, you're right. And as you were talking and I was playing through scenes in my head, I'm like, well, dang, they didn't have no regular people in this movie. Everybody was somebody that we all know and recognize by face and
it was
name.
the Color Purple R&B edition. I've been
No,
saying this.
seriously, I'm like, wait, when John Batiste was on the screen, I'm like, are y'all seeing this?
Girl, I was surprised I didn't walk out there.
Is what I'm saying. I thought you were for surely going to be in the background.
Girl, it would have been us with these mics and these laptops, and they would have still put us in the movie.
Yeah, they're like that feels accurate enough. Just sway a little. Just push the button, whatever. Um, I think that because we're doing a lot of like down with this Sierra. Let me say this. Danielle Brooks, Coleman Domingo, you will always be famous. You will
Always.
always
Both
be
went to
famous.
Juilliard
Clearly. Oh my god.
and met at
What
Juilliard
she
and been
did?
friends since Juilliard.
Oh no, that's Corey Corey Henry. Is that his last name? Coleman Domingo
Oh, yes,
is
yes, 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 yes.
Mr.
I always forget.
But yeah,
Gag.
them, yeah. Very well, yes. Sorry. Um, I didn't have to say that, Mary. That was on me. I take it back.
And
Edit and
you did,
post.
and
Well,
and won't using that for the clip for social
oops,
media.
oops, New Year, whatever. Um, what Danielle did in that? Oh well, I mean that's not a spoiler because it's in the book, it's in the movie, it's everywhere. What she did in that prison scene? Woo! That one got me.
Mm,
That one got me. Oh my gosh. I'm really proud of Fantasia as well. Quick pivot over to her. I'll give her a little credit. I mean, sorry, not little
yeah.
credit. I'll give her credit. Great job, Queenie.
Mama's a
My
shady today.
beef is
It's all
this.
that reading.
Well, it's right there. It's literally right there. I'm a reader. I'm a reader. My thing is this. I'm really glad. I'm praising the Lord, seriously, genuinely, that there was no gray wigs. I cannot stand gray wig energy with like aging in movies. I was
Mm.
so scared from when the original trailer dropped. I know it's silly that they was gonna have Hallie in a gray wig. I just knew it. I just knew we were gonna have Hallie in a gray wig, and that's my thing. Back to Sierra. Why couldn't they just cast somebody who looked exactly like Hallie? Like it didn't have to be
In the
Sierra.
original
Why
movie,
did she have to be famous?
they left the
She
girl.
was, yeah, but and that was confusing too because she came back looking exactly the same. Meanwhile, Whoopi Goldberg is hunched over with like
And that's what
so
I
many
said. I
lines.
was like, what pissed me off about the first one is that Whoopi jumped from being the other girl, because the other girl was a dark skinned black woman, and Whoopi was not that dark.
Mhm.
Um, and then you got Nettie that goes away and comes back the same person. Like, did
She
you?
looks exactly the same.
A-
And Sierra too. I'm like, okay, maybe they're not aging in Africa. Maybe they're trying to really like show us how hard Celia's life was here in America, and I
Mm,
don't know. But also, it never really makes too much sense because I'm like, okay, Mister was a grown man with 3 kids when he forced her hand in marriage, and she was like a teenager. But yeah, they look the
yes.
same age at the end of the movie. That's cool. That's fun. And also, cannot remember what happens in the book if it makes sense. But what happened to the rest of his kids? Why do we give him 3 kids? I mean, maybe like once again, I don't remember what happens in the book with his other kids, but baby, if we just need Harpo, just give us Harpo.
Like,
Because what
stop
happened to
playing.
them kids?
Them other kids, they said bye. We want Harpo.
They literally ran away. We have to go on. Speaking of kids that ran away, Dr. Jackie of Married to Medicine, famous OBGYN, is under some heat. She's in the hot seat. She's under the theoretical gun, I guess, after
So,
resurface clips from 2020, I think, where she was talking to Dr. Heavenly, Scorpio Queen, Dr. Heavenly, who I can't stand, also from Married to Medicine, where
I
she
love her.
says, well, okay, she's so annoying. But
She's so
anyway,
messy, but I live.
but she is funny, but she's like, oh my gosh. But anyway. She says in this clip, I don't know if you saw it, Jaden. She says basically
I
like
did.
black women, when they're giving birth or whatever, I've experienced it, they're very overly dramatic. They're always complaining. And the reason why the doctors don't believe in you is because you've been crying wolf. She did say crying wolf your whole pregnancy. So of course when we get in that room, baby, we don't believe you. Dr. Heavenly's like, oh, I'm not really dramatic. And like Dr. Heavenly, she didn't do too much pushback, but like, a little pushback. And baby, the girls came to slay. They had receipts. The people who unfortunately were patients of hers and who did have their babies delivered under her care, like she wasn't really there, but they have nothing but negative things to say. Where like
Oh wow.
she forces up the due date, or like she'll like push the due date. Oh, you're in danger of this. We have to induce you today. And now the baby comes out, you know, I don't want to use any like bad language, but like the baby comes out before it's supposed to, which leads to other
Premature.
health issues with the baby, and the mother's almost losing their life, which I have to say it must be okay. Well, firstly, she's a bad doctor, bad, evil, but also it's got to be for capital gain because everybody knows C-sections are more expensive than a natural birth,
Right.
and also staying in the hospital is more expensive than going home after 2 days. So I'm like, this must be a cash grab for her. None of her regular people clients, when I say regular people, I mean like not famous celebrity people, have nothing but negative things to say about her. It was all these
Mm,
TikTok videos coming up, popping up all over. And I will be honest in saying that I did only watch two, but there were a lot. I just was like, I
yeah.
can't unfortunately sit here and stomach listening to these stories because they're just so sad. Like, and I
Yeah.
just feared for the story that I would come to where it didn't end happily, despite Dr. Jackie's lack of effort.
Yeah.
And I've been saying since I met Dr. Jackie, saw Dr. Jackie on Married to Medicine, big hater. I thought she was terrible. I'm like, oh my gosh, like she's a doctor and she's fat phobic. How's that gonna work? She's an OBGYN, she's fat phobic, and she like her biggest thing is, baby, we wouldn't have these problems if you just lost 50 pounds. Which never made sense to me because if weight and health are the things that you're saying lead to a healthy life, then how come you're a survivor then? but
Right.
you was on the treadmill. There's not really a correlation there. I'm not a doctor, so I can't say for sure. But I don't like Dr. Jackie. She's a bad doctor, and I genuinely hope I never want to wish ill for somebody, but for the sake of the mortality rate of all these black women and their children, baby, let's go ahead and take that license. I don't
Thank
understand
you.
why she still has that. Why are we still calling her Dr. Jackie?
And I'm happy during this time and like over the past few months, the expose of it all has been happening.
Yeah,
Because that how long have we seen Dr. Jackie prior to Married to Medicine? Like
for
I
real.
didn't watch all of Married to Medicine, but I did watch all of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And she's done
Right.
other shows in Atlanta, being people's OBGYN and being people's doctor that we've seen on camera. So it's just interesting how the people who we did not also see beside her
Mm-hmm.
on these shows, how they're being treated. And it makes me go back to watching his name literally just ran out of my brain. The TikToker food Keith
Oh,
Lee.
Keith Lee.
The reason his whole thing blew up in Atlanta is because of that, because how he chooses to send people in to experience what it's like to not be famous at these places. And so to expose the Atlanta brigades of these restaurateurs and these entrepreneurs and these doctors and these other people who are treating the famous guests like royalty, and then non-famous guests literally like trash. Like, I'm happy y'all businesses are closing down. I'm happy y'all are being exposed. Dr. Jackie, you're going to hell. The things you did to these black women, and then to gaslight them, and then say your anger is like, because then to hear that, and then also hear the story about how you are forcing women to have birth earlier so you can get the C-section coin, and wait, but you didn't believe their pain. But we're
Right.
supposed to believe that we're supposed to be going into labor 2 months sooner than I need to.
Right.
Not even considering the health of me or the health of my child potentially.
Hello.
Because you also heard that she wasn't the one even doing the procedure.
Don't even be in the room, but for 2 minutes.
To high five the other doctors and say we got her. Like,
For real.
she's evil and vile, and then she's going to try and cry in front of a camera with her apology, like, girl. And even though those tears are real, so is the money to buy the things behind you in this frame. So all the patients, I hope they sue her. I hope they get some money from her, because this is sick.
Yeah,
It
that
really
apology
is.
was terrible. I don't think we can call it that though.
No.
Like she's like, I'm sorry, but this is what you can do better. Really document what's going on. Baby, what? You don't think it's irresponsible for a doctor to say publicly that black women who we already know experience mortality at a much higher rate than other demographics?
During 2020.
You're going to say that they're just making it up. So now it feels double real because you are a black woman. So for everyone else watching, it's like, boom, I knew it. I knew black women was stronger than us. They just making it up. They're just pretending. They want sympathy. What would you even gain from pretending? Baby, ain't nobody trying to get your little oxy prescription.
They
Like,
love that.
girl, like, please. Like, if somebody's really pressed, they can get them somewhere else. It makes, you know why? It makes no sense. And fortunately, it is like she is a famous figure and it is being like publicly exposed. Unfortunately, this I'm sure happens in great numbers to other people who don't have a famous doctor, and we just are probably just like scrolling past their story quicker. Their doctor
Right.
wasn't Dr. Jackie, it was Dr. whoever the heck. So I just hope that this story and other stories like it will like come to light, but not necessarily come to light because you don't want people who experience this to have to keep reliving it every time they get on Twitter, but just
Right.
like let's
Justice.
tighten up. Let's tighten up. Let's do what
I,
we're
I
supposed to
I would
do.
say justice. I hope the
Oh
people
no,
who
justice
are
for sure.
facing the
But
brunt of not even just this, all the
mhm.
terrible doctors and bad faith people out there trying to cause harm to different companies. For some reason, in my head, and I don't know why this has been happening to me recently. Every time I go anywhere, I think of like the scheme that could be running at a
Mm,
place. Like, this is dark. So, trigger warning, I guess. There's nothing to be triggered about, but whatever. I took Ben's to PetSmart for grooming. Like, he had a grooming appointment. I said, what if they back there breeding dogs?
I
Would that
mean,
not gag? Would that not gag though? Like, would that not
that
be a thing
wouldn't
that could happen?
absolutely. It's not completely unrealistic to think.
Exactly. But when I tell you this happens in my brain often, I'm like, what if they were doing this? And what if this was happening there? I'm really just writing movies in my head, but it's just like, could you imagine if like this
Because
is
it
what was going
happens.
on behind the scenes?
Because it happens all the time, you know.
It does. And y'all don't be aware enough. And that's why y'all be shocked by so-and-so doing whatever. Not me, because I already guessed it.
And there you go. The Dr. Jackie thing I also already guessed because, like I said, it was just so obvious and
I
so
would never
clear that
guess
she was
that.
a bad doctor. Did she
Dr.
give you good
Heavenly
doctor
Girl, why are
vibes?
you no. Plus I've never watched the show, like I said. I've only seen her through those
Oh,
encounters.
if you see her with
And then
Candy, then yeah.
also funny, well, also
But
like funny stuff.
but
Like
even
funny
when she was
moments.
talking to Candy, it's always so inappropriate. Like, girl, are you supposed to be making these types of jokes with your patients and their husbands
Didn't
and what
she
they
out
do?
the one girl at the event on Married to Medicine? She was like, you would know, you're infertile. And she made a TikTok too.
They need to stop because Bravo, I don't think they can take a blow like this.
No.
I don't think they can come back from a blow because after their racist allegations, and allegations is doing a lot of heavy lifting, they was definitely being racist, I'm sure. I don't think they can take another blow. Paramount Plus, pull Dr. Jack to the side. Get her together. Please, 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 please. Speaking of people needing to be pulled to the side line, maybe they're already there, I don't know. Simone Biles, who every single person in America and probably the world knows who she is.
Yes.
Her sideline husband, and I'm saying that just to be funny. I truly don't even know if he is like in the game or
What sport
not.
he plays.
Yeah, I
I
don't know
don't
if
know
he
what sport he
plays.
plays.
I know he's
I
on the
don't even want to look his
team.
name up just to prove the point that we don't know you.
I
And not
literally
even
have
to be
written
like,
and her
we
husband. I don't.
need, and you said whatever his name is. Like, we don't need to do like the whole, people don't know you. How dare you do the, I think it fits because of where he sits in the realm of like, also an athlete, also like in this world. And like, you try to talk about Simone Biles as if you didn't know who she was. Are you playing with me?
God, if you
Stop
weren't married to
playing.
her, we would not know who you were at all. You're gonna be her and her husband forever because baby, until you do something in the game, like until you some like I don't know who you are. I don't watch sports, but I do know the big athletes. I know the
Okay,
big
I know who
athletes'
Jalen Hurts
names.
is.
Well, I know Odell Beckham Jr. Of
And I know
course.
why. I know why I know who Jalen Hurts is. The only reason I know people's names is because they be
Well,
fine.
yeah, and he thinks he's that. So I mean, catch a ball
Well,
or be
I don't
cute
know.
enough to be
I
known. I
don't know.
don't know, but basically
And
this is what happens.
oh yeah,
So
sorry.
because
You
people are
narrate
like,
that.
what is going on? Simone Biles, who we know, if you don't know, look her up. Let Google think you know. We're talking about her again. Her husband, who does interviews for some reason, he's always talking to somebody. He talked about her before they got married, but now they're married. And he did an interview where he talks about how they met on some dating app and how she messaged him first because basically he's that guy and he wasn't really pressed for her. He didn't even know who she was. Za za za. And Simone just over there grinning. I'm like, girl, stand up. Tumble up. I don't know what's going on. Flip up. Please. This man is getting on my nerves. And I'm not saying divorce him because that's not my business. I don't know what y'all got going on, but keep him
No,
at
she's not.
home. Keep him
And
at
then
home.
it was also the interviewer like, so you saying that she was chasing you, that you the catch, da, da, da. And it's like, here we go. This is y'all podcast politics, and I don't understand where this comes from, why this was
Mm.
necessary. If he was a better husband and a better man, he would have nipped that in the bud and would have expressed that like she's the catch. Like she was DMing me, but through look where we are now. I proposed to her. Like
Hello.
I you know what I'm saying? Like you had enough when you found out who she was. Clearly, you was enough to be down with it. And I also think this comes down to like some type of like identity politic in some way, or like
Mm-hmm,
some type of prettiness to it, because people have often talked about Simone Biles' looks. And then when she got into the relationship with this man, it was conversations around he had to have known who she was. And now you're trying to say the
right.
opposite to make her seem desperate in your story attempt, when it's like I would not be surprised if she did chase after you. Like, she's an Olympic, world-renowned gymnast. She has drive. She has ambition. She goes after what she wants. So
Oh,
I would not be surprised if that across
mm-hmm.
arenas of her life that's the case. That's not surprising, and that's not. We don't necessarily not want to hear that part of the story. But what you're not going to do, what you, sir, Mr. Man, Mr. Boss, what you're not going to do is downplay who she is, who she worked to be, who when you went to her Instagram and saw that she had a lot of followers and not the. Let me go because I
No,
hate to
because then
lose
you're
you.
gonna find out his name.
I refuse. I'm going to hers.
Jaden, he also shared a story about how he knew she was the real deal when, and it was like when she won the Olympic gold medals. No, when they went to get ice cream,
Stop
and
playing me.
people were like turning and looking, and oh my gosh, fawning all over her instead of him. Baby, who are you? You just a regular man with some dangly earring.
She had a lot of followers. 7.1 million. It's a lot, not disregarding that.
That is a lot.
First thing in the caption, in the what's it called? In the bio? Olympic gold medalist.
Come on.
So you're trying to tell me you saw the number of how many people followed
The
her
check,
first.
the blue check.
You looked her name up, saw the number of people that followed, saw the blue check, and did completely jumped over Olympic gold medalist or Olympic gold winner, whatever. You jumped over that. You didn't see that part, but she's supposed to see your page of basketball thrown around somewhere or football thrown. I literally don't know what you do. You can play tennis for all we care. We don't know you. Water polo. We don't know you.
We don't know.
Bobbing for apples. We don't know you. Loser New Year.
Big loser New Year. This man who his name I could maybe guess after 10 tries and get it correct what his name is. It's probably something generic. I don't know.
You got
But
5 tries
I have 5 tries.
right now.
Okay. Daniel Gregory.
No.
Do you know it?
I'm looking
Did
at
you
it
just
right
look it
now.
up? Oh, Jason. No, no, no. It's Owen.
Sort of.
Close. Owens. No.
Okay.
Oh, that's his last name.
Yeah.
Terrell. Just kidding. No. Michael.
No.
And okay, what is it?
Jonathan Owens.
And who the heck is that?
He plays football.
For who? I mean, if you got to
The
do all that
Packers.
looking. Who girl, a made up man, made up name, made up team. I just
Made up team. Y'all made it up and y'all want us to believe it, and we're not doing it. Y'all can Mandela affect us all y'all want to. We're not
what
falling
city
for it.
is that,
Let it go.
please? Please,
And
please.
with them letting it go, we're gonna let it go. And we're gonna let you go. He may not let you go, but we're letting you go.
Before I let go. If that Jaden, this take it or leave it, once we move on from the catch in 2 seconds, it's so that was the catch.
Oh
You're all
God.
caught up.
I'm
Now it's
scrolling.
time for take it or leave it, which Jaden is going to read the first one for us.
You
Let's
love making
see.
me read. Okay.
I do. Yeah, I do.
Okay, are we ready? Is everyone here?
For sure. We're all
Everyone has
here.
your snack, your seat. Great.
Something to throw.
See, now I gotta find something. Here we go. I need Black men to be freed from feeling like they have to put down Black women unprovoked, especially in mixed company. I love a cold open. Sorry. This weekend, I was meeting up with a friend, a white woman. Let's call her Annie, to watch. I love a bitch named Annie. I do. To watch a big
Well,
game.
let's see if you feel that way at the end.
No. The name.
Okay.
To watch a big game. She wanted me to come meet her new man, Black. Let's call him Daniel. For context, they've been dating 3 to 4 months or something, and she L words him. Red flag. Oh, I know what the L word is. Lesbian. At our meetup, it was me, black woman, 2 white women, a white man, and another black girlie. I love diversity. During a break in the game, and a Planet Fitness commercial comes on, and as we know, Meg Thee Stallion is the new ambassador. I loved it. Did you watch it?
Of course, it was
It was
so
so
good.
funny, so
And
cute,
it
so
makes
good. I
so much
love her.
sense. It was a brilliant
Mother
move.
Fitness.
Brilliant. It's so
She
good.
said, "Where are my legs?" I don't know why that part takes me out. We were collectively hyped to, I'm back to the story now. We were collectively hyped to see her, and the other white woman, let's call her Pony, proclaimed her as my girl. Everyone except, you guessed it, the coon. Oops. Sorry, I mean Daniel. Oh, whoever wrote this was pissed. He says, I guess this isn't a good time to bring up Tory Lane.
Yeah. Jaden, I don't know why you're shocked. You should have known it was going here.
I didn't. I thought
Okay.
the Meg moment was just, we're going to move past it and talk about Planet Fitness. I
I
really was hoping it
wish.
was something else.
I wish. Mhm.
I just need a moment.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time.
Pissed off New Year. Once I shook off the shock and refocused in on what he was saying, the white girlies had already sprung to action. Pony knew what it was. It was not trying to go back and forth because this man just wanted to argue, and she just wanted to spread her positive vibes. Annoyingly, my friend Annie is over there trying to reason with her man by providing court details and launching into Kylie Jenner's role in all this. She had none. They're just going in circles at this point. To try to shut it down, I asked, so what do you think happened? And Annie says, I don't think he shot her on purpose. And he said, I don't think he shot her at all. She was performing the next week, and we know that she's a toxic lying manipulator. And of course he brings up Party's diss track as if that's a reputable document. Then he says her BBL looks good though as the conversation ender. Another discussion erupts about her body, eventually leading to Pony sharing that she would gladly suck on her toe. Okay, now we're oversharing. See, there's always a line where we cross, where things just kind of take a turn. This is that. It made sense in the context of the okay. Good for you. It makes sense in the context of the conversation. Daniel says that's a lot of toe to suck on and a lot of foot to get shot in. The night continues, blah, blah, blah. That night, after our goodbyes, Annie texts and asks me, what did you think? I said, I think y'all have good chemistry and he was comfortable around your friend. I was trying to keep it cute, and she follows up with, so how do you like him? We did have other laughs, and that night wasn't a total bust, and I was truly paying most attention to the game. I want y'all to confirm whether this behavior is ridiculous or not. But my question, how do I respond to her / is the first meeting enough to determine overall like or dislike of someone?
Yes.
Do you want to
go? Okay, so here's my thing.
I have so many things.
This is not a good question for me because, yeah, the first 5 minutes for me is enough. Even though it's not, I can always go back on how I feel about you, but maybe I'd be telling people quick, okay, she's getting on my nerves. I can't with her. There is something so unique, not Beyonce, about a black man who dates white women. Out loud, proud. That's good. Be proud of your queen. Your queen. And who will just randomly just start talking about black women in front of them because it's like, and you know, Jaden, you and I both went to like pretty white school. So sometimes you're friends with white people and it's hard, and you should be, of course. Love is love, or whatever they say. It's hard sometimes to like talk about something because you're like, well, I want to go in and I can't talk about it to my white friend because I'm sure you've had that in your mind where you're like, dang,
Of course.
I can't even talk to her about this because I'm not trying to have her have any opinions about it, really. Like,
No, I actually don't want to hear
Even though
anything.
I don't agree with my Black Queen did. I don't need to know. It's like when it's like I can talk about my mom, but you can't talk about
Yes.
my mom. That's how it is, you know. So when people don't have that, it's like so unique. It's so interesting to me. To start with, oh, Meg Thee Stallion, that's my girl. The crowd is hype about it. Baby, read the situation. And this is my problem with Annie now. Can you take him outside? I've been telling my mom for years that men should be seen, not heard.
Never.
Not heard. So my thing is this. Since we had to hear him, I think she should
I
have
never
broken
want
up
to
with
hear him
Hot
again.
Fox.
Boom! I didn't mean to end his life. I know it wasn't right.
Number one. Number two, he was wanting to embarrass Meg Thee Stallion publicly. You're an ally, Annie. Break up with him publicly. Right here at the table in front of everybody, or you're not an ally. Who do you love more? Him or the whole diaspora? I don't think he shot her at all. Then later to say, well, that's a lot of foot to get shot in. Did it get shot in or not? Did it get shot in or not? Did it? And then to ask, did we like it? Baby? And now I'm mad
Yes, I
at
know.
you. Now I'm mad at you because you wasn't so drunk in love that you wasn't seeing what's going on. You know your friend's a black woman, and he's going in about Meg Thee Stallion, which is, and this is, I'm not saying all, not all white women, but a lot of our allies will sometimes miss that mark. You know, that's a red flag. It's a red flag. It is a telltale. If people just people, black men, or just people in general, unprovoked, just start talking about a black woman. No, and not any woman. Oh, talk about any woman unprovoked. No, no, no. Specifically black women in a group of white people. Why would you do that,
Right.
sir? Really? So I say all that to say this. Is it enough to determine overall like or dislike? Yeah. Hello, my name is Daniel is enough for me. But that's just me. I'm quick. How do I respond? If you clearly things are going to fall upon non-listening ears because she clearly wasn't paying attention during this to know that her man was a mess. So don't I honestly wouldn't even waste my time or my breath on the real response. That. But before I even share my response, I would love to know what you think.
I think he's a waste of time, and the L word after 3 to 4 months was already a red flag on Annie's part. You know, it ain't that hard not to life. I'm sorry. For you to be screaming "I love you" after 3 to 4 months.
Screaming is crazy.
She's screaming it.
For
I
sure.
can hear her now.
She loves her Black King.
Her and the rest of the orphans. I can hear them screaming at the top of their lungs. So Senator, so janitor. Like you're never fully dressed without a smile.
Hello.
Imagine seeing a black woman doing a deal with Planet Fitness, and instead of jumping to support her and commend her, even if you have other thoughts and feelings about her, but we're talking about something as like a shooting or something.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine when the room is hoop hollering and haranguing, you turn around and you provide a negative person's name and negative energy into the space, and you think that you're going to text me later on, do I like him? No, he's a mood killer. He's a vibe destroyer. Like he seems like he sucks the room out of every room he's in, actually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we may have giggled, laughed, but I have never forgotten what he said.
No.
Because let it have happened to me, and the sentiments will be shared.
Mm-hmm.
What? But and then because it's so layered, this is like peak straight black man, like cis straight black man. Peak. This is like when we talk about stereotypical black men, or like when you blanket term black men. This is the perfect example of that. Because not only did you justify the violence, you said it didn't even happen. Just to say, like, make a joke about why it could have happened, but then you also turn around and talk about her body and sexualize her in such a way. This is what we're talking about. And then not only do you do that, who are you in front of? Who are you laying in the bed with to have these same conversations with?
Oh.
Who's aiding and abetting these conversations? And this ain't Daddy Warbucks, so I really don't get it. Cause
At least he had money. At least.
Something. Daniel, you giving me less than what Issa got. And I just don't understand why we have to deal with this over and over again. Like, honestly, and it sucks that Black women have to carry so much labor in like acknowledging the elephant in the room. Like, you're gonna come to me and text me how I felt about a man who disrespected a Black woman that we just said we loved in front of my face.
That's so weird.
I don't think you did enough to protect me. Like, even
You're
if
so
you were
right.
just like, babe, let's not talk about it.
You're
move
so
on, because,
right.
like you're gonna make my friends uncomfortable. Like,
right.
You also left this up for me to feel some kind of way about, and now I have to still share space with this man because I'm not going to get up and walk out, because then, like, we don't know. I don't know
you
this
the angry
personality
Black woman.
type. And now y'all get to talk about me and y'all little semicircle. No, ma'am. No. So, do I feel that you could have made? Because why did Kylie Jenner get involved in? That's how you know you're talking to people who don't know what they're talking about. You can bring the court cases, but to bring up Kylie Jenner makes no sense. They left her party. That's it. That's all we needed.
It's so
we need
random.
to know why the argument started. Everybody has been in an argument before, but not everyone has been shot in the foot.
But more than that, to me, the whole conversation is because he's in jail, baby. It really does not matter what you think, what I think, because baby, we know what they thought.
Baby, the jury didn't believe him. The judge didn't believe him.
No.
And we got the receipts. Like, yeah, them other people that you may follow on the Shade Room, Now This TV, Spiritual World, the people that maybe running all them accounts, posting Milagro, whatever these people's names is, that's really just opinion writers, and other people with podcasts are just talking about their feelings and opinions and their love for Tory Smains. Maybe you read what they was before. They know, because it takes the violence to put it there. They only love you when you inflict the violence on Black women, when you inflict violence on queer people. They only love you on those times. They may tolerate you. No one even streamed your music. Like, that's my thing. Like, he's saying all this, but he can't name a favorite track.
Not even a track.
He can't tell you the last time he saw him in concert. The last time he listened to, he's on his Spotify Wrapped or his Apple Replay.
No,
he's not on none of that. So stop keeping this man's name alive, because guess where it is currently? Jailed.
Yeah, it's behind.
Daystar, girl.
Jaden, the thing that I also want to hit on is him saying, and we know that she's all of these things. We know she's toxic. We know she's a lying manipulator. We don't know her.
We don't know her.
And let's say that people have said, why do we believe them? Who the heck are they? We literally don't know. I've heard not so great
things about plenty.
We supposed to just believe everything we hear now? You know what happened here? I know for a fact that what happened here is Daniel listened to a couple of podcasts and formed his full opinion there. Because the thing is, like, oh, if I normally agree with these people, then if I had all the facts, I probably would agree with them on this too.
Right.
Like, that happens all the time. And I'm guilty of that too, where sometimes I won't even necessarily read the whole caption of something. If, like, let's say, for example, Jaden reposted, I'm like, I'm sure I agree with it because I always read Jaden. I do the same thing. But I'm not going to speak on it.
It's put me in problematic spaces before, where I've shared stuff and someone responded was like, yeah, delete this. This is actually like lying, essentially, or this is like they're using the imagery of what we talk about to share misinformation. And I'm
Right.
like, oh snap, like delete, delete, delete. But it's like,
Mm-hmm.
own it. The other issue is like y'all aren't ready to own or learn. Actually, y'all just want to stand on things you don't have any room to talk about because y'all also be abusers. And the other thing with that is something to say back to her is, girl, him or me. Like, you as friends, we need to start saying things sooner. Like, I don't understand the holding off. This is bigger than a red flag.
You're
This
right. You're
leads
right.
to someone else being shot. Like, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
When people make excuses and pull all this stuff to allow violence towards a certain group of people, or trans people or men, even, like, when you create room for that, you are easily, like, you're the first person I'm gonna blame for contributing to this kind of violence. Like, essentially,
Absolutely.
so if one day your friend, if Annie comes telling you that she got hard knocked life down, then you're gonna have to believe her because of this conversation. Every time you see him, you're gonna think about what he said about Megan Thee Stallion. Every time you see him, you're going to think
100%.
about the way he talked about this black woman, because when you get groped or when you get talked to a certain way, he's not
Mm-hmm.
gonna come to your rescue.
No.
That ain't my girl. That ain't mine. She that's my friend, my girlfriend friend. I don't know her like that. But you know me enough to express your worst politic to me.
Because if you're like, to me, it's the flippancy of it all. You just met these people, you don't know these people, and you're just so ready to just say the worst thing you can think of about somebody that they already told you they loved.
Even
And
that
it's
you also
you
don't
don't
know.
even care. You don't even care. And you're so right about Annie because, obviously Daniel is done. We're done. Obviously, it's cooked. But Annie, you're so right. I did not even think about that. How you just sat and watched this, like it's could be potentially triggering to the other black women in this space. You just don't. You just laugh. Well, actually, the court docket, baby. Can you not see that your friends, that could be them? They are literally Meg the Stallion. They are
Right.
literally Meg the Stallion without all of the public support. You know, if something happens to your friend, there ain't gonna be no lawyer with a bob on Twitter talking about the facts. It's just gonna be your friend and whoever supports her, which is not you or Daniel. You're
Right.
so right about that. Like the discomfort that you put your friend in. So I think honestly, you're so right, baby. How dare you come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding talking about, did you like him?
No, and I barely
Did
like you
you
right
do
now.
you love me? That's really the question. Do you like me? What do you think of me? Nothing. Or you don't think a lot of me. I think the question is, I know that people always write in with what they want, and like sometimes the questions are clear. Like she has a clear question here, but that's not the question. I'm sorry, because Daniel's not your friend. We
No.
don't care, but Annie is. Annie is your friend. So I think
Yeah.
you should either get her together because you're right. You're so right. This is not the kind of thing where you can like, child, I don't even have time, which is annoying because like you're gonna always have to do this labor, and that's just the price you pay when you have these friends. And I'm not saying that in like a negative way. Like, sure, learning and education is wonderful if you have the capacity to. So if you have the capacity to, I'm not saying send her no resources or nothing. Just tell her whatever you're feeling. If you feel
Yeah.
that it'd be worth it to share, or just be like,
I
I'm
just
cool off of that.
Even
I'm
if
cool off of
I'm
you.
cool, I don't want to be around him. Um,
That's fair, I
y'all
think.
relationship is not up to me, so I can't make no decision for you. This was
No,
a red flag for me, and if someone would have said this, if I would have been dating someone who said this, it'd be the last day I dated them. But I
that's
understand
crazy.
that you can't control your emotions or feelings. But I hope you recognize that though he was not talking about white women, focus on the women part. This is where we lost feminism the first time because y'all
Hello.
separated yourselves
Mm-hmm.
from black women and poor white women.
You're so
But
right.
but
You're so right. I can't even imagine dating. I cannot imagine taking the person I'm dating to meet my friends, and the first thing that they say is a mess. Now I'm embarrassed. Now I'm embarrassed. Okay,
I it would be like
guys, get the check.
a look.
Get the check.
Everyone would look at each other like,
This is you. Y'all are together. Well, dang, I thought I knew you.
hmm.
Well, Annie, good luck. Ryder, good luck. Good luck, Charlie.
I would,
It's
and
just
I don't know
so
how fast or swift I
dangerous.
would do it. Like I don't think I would do it that second. and be
The
like,
breakup?
get out.
Oh, I'm screaming.
I think I would play it cool, and then like by the end of the night, like I think we should talk. We're done. Like what? Yeah, the thing you said earlier that was really scary, and I just can't
That
be
is so
involved in anything like that.
scary. Like you think let's pretend like we don't know what happened because we don't technically. You think the possibility of a woman being shot is like a joke? That's funny. It's a he, it's a hunk, it's a ha.
And so when we talk about your mother, is it still funny?
Don't even bring it up because you know these men don't care about their mothers.
Well,
That they don't care about their mothers. Let's if it was you, if it was your white queen, you might not care about her either. But if it was you, you know who they love actually. If it was your friend, your boy since high school, if he got shot in the foot,
you have his T-shirt on right now.
absolutely. What they did to my boy was not right. You're so right. Okay, here's the next take it or leave it. There's a guy I'm really interested in, and we hit it off and have great chemistry. Only problem is that I know him because of my close friend. She was using him to make her on again, off again boyfriend jealous and trying to get him to finally commit. FYI, the guy didn't know that. They never got involved sexually, only went on dates, and were seen around town enough that word got back to her old man. I love that this is written like it's the 1950s. Word got around the town.
Right.
Well, when I finally met the guy,
Like, girl, just
sparks.
say someone posted it on Instagram.
No, seriously, there was a shoulder in the back of her like picture, and like who's that man? Um, well, when I finally met the guy, sparks flew. I talked to her about how I was feeling about him, and by that point, she and her ex had reconciled, so she was happy and couldn't have cared less about the guy and gave me her quote blessing to proceed with him. Even though she didn't really like him and they weren't seriously involved, would that make him a homie hopper? I love that the question isn't even about this person's behavior. It's not even like, should I still do it? It's like, yikes, would I be dating a homie hopper? Like that's these
Right.
words. Like
Like
I'm
it is
screaming,
about like
truly.
his reputation. Like, am I dating someone who will date anyone?
Ooh, he's who's for the team?
Well,
Sick.
yes.
This is this
Sadly,
is
you are. Um, but I think the label comes with intention. Like, I don't necessarily think it depends on how y'all. I know him because of my close friend. She was using him to make it. So how did y'all start? Like, was it giving once it was done with them? He started getting interested in you, or was it like,
yeah, that is actually a good question.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that makes it the homie hopping thing, because if y'all just started talking later on organically, that's one thing. But if it
Hmm.
was like he showed interest in her, it didn't work out, and then he jumped to you, that's the hopping.
Yeah, okay. I really can't make it out because you're right. If it was like you met them while she was booed up with him in the corner and he was like, I'll be right back, and he takes you into the bathroom, then it's giving hop. But it says here, well, when I finally met the guy, sparks flew. I talked to her about how I was feeling, I'd imagine, after they hung out. And by that point, they were already reconciled. So I'm not sure why he was even around. But I think that because of the way, this is just me. I don't know how the girls are doing it out here or the guys. I don't know how people are doing it out here. But to me, because of the initial intention of your friend, I just feel like it's just really sad. I mean, I hate to be that person because we just talked about a lot of yang about these men, but I don't really think that's fair to him. Um, to be like he was a pawn and now he's your man and he doesn't even know that he was a pawn. I'm not saying tell him he was a pawn, but oh,
Yeah.
come on now. But I don't know. It just is. I don't like it, because he probably had some sort of interest in your friend and now he's nothing to her. I don't know. I don't know. The vibes are just strange to me. What do you think?
I don't think you have to say much of anything, even if he was just a ploy or anything to your homegirl. The other point of this is loyalty and sisterhood. Um,
Absolutely.
you did right by telling her how you felt, by talking to her, by getting her quote unquote blessing. And now I don't think anything else needs to be of concern. Um, I think the homie hopping is a great question to ask, but it depends on time and context, honestly, because if there was enough time between when he was in your friend's phone, quote unquote, and when they got back together, especially because she was using him. Like, I
Hmm.
feel like that also is important to realize. Like, even if he was trying to get at her, was she the one initiating everything? Like, was she the one showing more interest or like doing the most towards him, or like what was that about?
Yeah, yeah,
Next
that's
time we
true.
need this person to call in. Um, but no, I don't
Yeah,
think he's a home hopper, and I don't think you should be concerned with that when you're entering into your relationship, especially because it may not be true. If it is true, girl, so like if it is true, then what? That's why. Then
if
what?
it's
New
true,
Year.
then she got to make sure he can't meet any more friends. That I'm screaming. She can't. He can't meet any more friends if it's
True.
true. He'll hop around all over the place.
Oh, okay, but if he is a homie hopper, he's got to go. No shade, because that's so lazy, and you don't want no lazy man.
I first of all, I just can't stand the homie hopper of it all. Like, not here, who cares? He's a homie hopper. But like, if a girl just so happens to meet another guy in your circle and you a bum and your friend isn't and he's a good guy, she okay. She made a mistake.
Right.
She didn't
She
mean to
just
date you.
first is the worst,
It
second is the
took
best. What
number
happened to
one.
elementary?
And you gotta kiss a couple of frogs to meet your prince. And you was the frog. I'm not saying the friend is the frog in this example. I'm so sorry, Queen. But you know what I mean? Just the origins of a homie hopper. Like, who do y'all think y'all are, girl? Like, it's not. It's giving slim pickings. That's it. That's it. Supply and demand. That's it.
And
So is
that's
he a
all.
homie hopper? Maybe. Yes. Next. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. I done pulled up my budget for the month. Yikes.
Oh,
Okay.
child.
It was sad. It was scary. Um, so that's all for take it or leave it. If you have something that you desperately need advice on, or you just want to share a little messy story, email us at childanywaypod@gmail.com. It doesn't have to be extensive like these. We do love a juicy something just for the, it keeps us young, kind of. It actually ages me, but I don't mind it for you guys. Ask us anything, keep it cute, of course, and nothing about self care, and we'll answer it on the podcast. Now it's time for Thank Me Later. Exactly.
Mm.
This is where Jane and I are like, wait, have y'all heard of this? Have y'all been doing this? Okay, well, here you go. Take it as free for you. If not, then whatever. I'll go first. Yeah. My first thing is Leslie Odom Jr. He dropped an album. Actually, I'm a little bit late. He dropped it November 17th. Shout out to a great date on the calendar called When Crooners Die. Leslie Odom Jr.'s other albums are definitely more jazz, more crooner-ish. This one is poppy.
Mm.
It's not giving like art pop poppy. It's
Dua
not giving
Lipa.
radio poppy. It's not giving Dua Lipa, but it's still poppy. Like it's technically pop. It's fun. I wrote it down. I'm not gonna lie. I did kind of blindly write it down because I only listened to the first two songs. But when this comes out, I will have listened to the whole thing, and I want to have it already done. I don't want to talk about this next week. Next is this.
Real.
I am now reading my second book by the author J. California Cooper. She had another book called Homemade Love. It was a collection of short stories, and I loved it. It was so good. It was so like just just not. It was a good, easy, funny read. It was funny. It was sad. It was
Mm.
all of that. So today, when I went to the library, because I'm a reader, I got another book of hers called Peace of Mind, and she has apparently like first of all, when I went the first time and grabbed her book months and months ago, that was the only one there. Today when I went, it was given about 7, 8 books. I'm like, okay, I thought she was giving one off. Okay, I
Right.
gotta return. She has books like full novels and but like a lot of short story books, and this one is like short stories. And I don't know, there's something nice about reading short stories. It's like 5 pages, 8 pages, full little cute little story moment, and then you can just pause there and start reading another book if you want. You know, it's not
Right.
like the commitment of reading a novel and I can't read anything else. But it's a quick read. So honestly, I'm not even suggesting either of those books. Just read something by her. They're all really funny and like cute and giving definitely old broken English at points. And I shouldn't say broken English, but like, you know, AAB, blah, blah, blah. So that's my suggestions for the week. What do you have, Jaden? Speaking
Um.
of,
Right. Speaking of reading, uh, I'm back again. Get y'all library cards. There was a post recently, where this guy who makes TikToks, he's a library in, and and he talks about like all the resources you can find at your library just by having a library card and why it's important to have one. And though Twitter tried to be so mean and cruel to him, I just want to emphasize like the importance of having a library card and getting to the library at some point. When I went to the library last week, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago for sewing class, it was just me and the instructor, and she works at the library, and we were just talking. I was like, how is it working at the library? She's like, it's a lot of work. She's like, and they're taking our funding.
Mm,
um and she was like, we just need more people here. And I'm like, I keep trying to tell the girls, get your library card, like go get you
mm,
something. You want a book, go get them to buy it. Stop spending your money on books that you don't read and you let sit there. That was
mm.
also at me. um
Well,
get them to buy it and still don't read it, but at least it has a
at
home.
least you know what I mean.
You know what I'm saying? And if you have books that you haven't read or you're not going to read, or you have read them and you're done reading them, donate them to the library. um but yes, get your library card. Even being a ghost library card holder does work. It helps. It helps them to understand the need for these resources. Library is one of the only like anti-capitalist things that we have. And think about it like this: if we didn't already have them, we would never have them. The
No,
how
no.
things are now, they would never give us something like a
No.
library. We need to use that resource and all its resources as much as possible, because they are actually trying to take it away. Even if you just go there, instead of y'all keep going to these coffee shops and cafes and be mad that it's packed. You know where it's not packed? The library. And when it does get packed, great.
That's fine. There's
Then
always
then
opposite.
you can go back to the cafe. But you can go get you a book from the library.
Jaden, that's a beautiful point. And you know what I just thought of would be a great idea, specifically for the summer baby girlies. But imagine you have like a 6, 7 year old, 8 year old child, whatever, and for their birthday party slash gathering, parents tap in. It's gonna save you some money. The birthday party is actually a trip to the library where the children all sign up for library cards. And then it's like, even though it's Johnny's birthday, we all get something today. Pick out any book you like. Yep, it's on me. Meanwhile, I mean, it's free because you just sign
Right.
and you get your own card and everything. Like everybody gets this plastic card. You're just like, mommy, we all swipe in today. It's so exciting. Being a child, I can imagine because I didn't have a library card because we didn't need one to like go to the school's library. But imagine you're a little child and you like walking up to the counter, you and all your besties in line with a handful of books. Boom, charge it, it's on the card. And then after that, parents tap in. This is good. Tap after that, a couple cupcakes on the bench.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. That's the whole party.
And parents, get your library card too.
Well, no, please. I mean, you should definitely. I mean, okay, sorry. Yeah, if you don't have it, definitely get it. But that would be. Imagine 3, 4 of those parties a year at all these libraries. Oh my gosh, I bet it would do numbers. And this is what the guy on the TikTok was talking about. Like they really want, not even for well, for selfish reasons maybe to keep the library open, but also just like reading is fundamental. These babies need to be reading
Yes.
books. So it does wonders for your child. It does wonders for you because you ain't got to pay nothing for all these kids to get books. I just think it's a great idea. So shout out to Jaden again for the suggestion.
Yes. Read, read, read. You can be a reading person. It doesn't have
Hmm.
to just be something that you hear other people talk about or you hear us talk about. Um, make time to read. reading is a hobby. It's
Mhm.
not just like something you're naturally probably going to do.
No.
You're probably going to have to make time. Instead of watching Netflix tonight, read the book. Instead of sometimes when I'm sitting in my car having lunch or like after lunch, I'll sit there and read my book. At the end of my workday, sometimes I'll pull my book out and read for the last 20 minutes of the day,
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
waiting in line, doing something. Like there's plenty of opportunities to quick read. That's why I would get like poetry books or other things like short stories where you can read them in like 5 minutes walking somewhere, or
Mhm.
sitting on your step, or like sometimes when I'm sitting at the top of my stairs rubbing on bins, I'll have a book in my hand, or like, before the end of the night, I'll be reading while I'm, giving him his night rub. And boom, you're reading, you're using those skills. The reason I'm able to talk so much better and not make up so many words is because I've been reading books. I know actual words now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it really, it forces you into new perspective. It forces you into like becoming a better storyteller, a better like listener, a better critical thinker, a better thinker in general. It helps my
Mhm.
memory. It helps in so many places. Retention, like reading, like it helps you read more. When you read
Mhm.
something, it helps you in the next book. Because especially like if you're trying to read like a Tony, that's stylized writing, and
And it's
it
gonna take
takes
you a
a
minute.
second. It takes a second, and that's okay. Also,
Yeah, it
it's
is.
okay to put a book back. Like you don't have to finish the book. You don't like it, you don't have to stick through it, no, it doesn't have to be that stressful. You're not getting graded on it. You're not getting assigned to do it. Well, we're assigning to do it, but we not making you do book reports or whatnot. Though I think that's something great you should do. Um, it's not something you have to do. Uh, anyway, something I told my therapist I was gonna start doing for this year for 2024, um, was we talked about it in the last episode where we talked about like giving ourselves flowers more often. I was gonna build like a flower wall, and like every time there was something worth giving myself a flower for, like getting like a fake flower or whatever, writing a note and attaching it to it and putting it somewhere, and then building it over time. So then at the end of the year, I can look at the flower wall and see all the flowers I'm giving myself. And I feel like that's just a great idea, and I figured I'd share it so it's not just a me thing.
That is such a great idea.
Okay,
I
good.
love that.
My
Wow.
therapist was
That's
like,
powerful. That's powerful.
she was like, I'm gonna write that down. Hold on.
No, no, seriously. I'm gonna use that on a couple other patients. Yeah. Yeah.
Literally. I'm like, as you should.
Wow. That's good, Jaden. That's
Um,
good.
but yeah, even like just thinking of creative ways to do the things we want to do and honor the commitments we say we're gonna make. Uh, yeah, moving forward. Issa Rae, her show Rap Shit came back season 2 this came back in what, September? I mean,
November?
not
Oh,
September, girl,
okay.
bye. This November sometime,
About
right after the
something like
strike,
that.
right after the right strike ended.
Yeah.
Um,
Quick little turnaround.
very quick. I think they already had it done and was like, girl, it's finished.
Yeah, it could have been done before, and then we just like touched it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was only 8 episodes, which pissed me off so bad.
Oh, it's done?
Um,
I thought there was
it's
a couple.
finished. It's complete. It's complete. It's over.
Well, okay.
We've talked about the show on here before, I believe.
Yeah, the first season.
Yes. Please go watch it. It's such a good show, especially you're gonna have to stick with it. There's gonna be times where you're gonna get pissed off. And rightfully so, but stick with it, please. I'm begging. Especially like how season 2 ended. Amira, you have to hurry up because I have to talk to you about it. It pissed me off so bad.
Okay.
Anyway, um, also with that, as like a second point to that, there's Issa, she loves a good music project to go along with her
Oh, for
film
sure.
projects. She's so me coded. Rap Shit
Hmm.
the mixtape is like a album with a bunch of women artists and other rappers that's like actual music, actual songs that aren't, I don't know if they're
Nice.
all in the movie, all in the show. I mean, um, I don't even know if some of them are in there, but it's so good. I was listening to it and I'm like, oh, like y'all trying to take it.
Let me go ahead and add that.
Go ahead. And I found that from I was watching Scotty Beam and Sylvia Abel. They had Issa on the show talking about rap shit, and she had Scotty had said like she's been listening to the mixtape at the gym, and now I listened to it after that, and I was like, oh my god, this is kind of eating. So highly recommend. Go enjoy some good TV, and then a good book.
And you can do that in any order.
In any
You know.
order. It doesn't
And
have to
if
be the
you
same day.
but it's on HBO, and if you don't pay for top dollar HBO, there's ads. So rejoin those ads, baby.
Please. And this has been
Yeah.
Ciao. Anyway.
You can listen to anyway wherever you listen to your podcasts.
We drop new episodes every week.
Like, share, subscribe, rate, and review. Get on YouTube, like it up, share it with a friend, subscribe, do all that stuff.
Well, yes. Go listen to When a Crooner Dies by Leslie Odom Jr. Read some of J. California Cooper's works. Hopefully you get all those works from the library. While you have sewing class, while you have sign language classes, while you have English as a second language courses, or Spanish as a new language course, or whatever else. Go watch Rap Shit Season 2. They also have, you can stream music on, like, they have library services that are like, they have
Yes, and audiobooks
music,
too.
audiobooks.
I'm gonna tap into the music
movies.
because I can't keep paying for Apple Music.
Okay, I'm over this, girl. Rap Shit Season 2. Go watch that. Go stream the mixtape on Apple Music, Spotify, the other girls. I'm not getting paid to promote them. And have a okay New Year. A sneezy New Year, clearly.
Oh, bless you.
A blessed New Year. Bye.
Amen.